the 6th game to take the cake here. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to watch things explode on the screens. We head to Miramar for one final time today, and then Group Red's done. That is the big thing to look out for here, is that Group Red will no longer be playing. So let me just rattle those off for you. Brute Force Tiamba, For Miracle Vibes, Reject, D+ Kia, DX Xavier, Besiktas Black, and the one and only Udo Alliance.
And remember, if you're at home thinking, damn, this looks good, but could it look even better? Maybe on a 144 Hz screen at 120 FPS with low response time? Get yourself a GT 20 Pro.
Just get it.
It's that easy. They're flying off the shelves.
Super simple. Like Jackie says, they're flying off the shelves, so just watch out. Might hit you in the face, but just try and grab one.
Yeah,
You're good to go.
use the defense pan.
Use the defense pan.
To catch it.
You got the attack pan, the defense pan. This moment requires a defense pan.
Yeah, not the attack pan. Don't attack the foe. Instead, purchase it and use it, as it will be a really good experience, much like this game is going to be. Match 6 blank. We've been waiting for this one, and with what we've seen today, I think there's room for something quite crazy here.
There is, yeah, but I mean, this ain't so crazy. This is the exact same playing map we saw from last game. What's this all about? We do have everyone just doing the exact same thing. Maybe they'll have learned. Maybe everyone's going to try and take up that position over towards Western Picardo. Pick up the same positions that DX Xavier and ISC were able to get themselves. Pretty damn good game off the back of. But yeah, most teams heading out once again. Team Liquid, I think they had a chance in that game, but sort of messed it up just a little bit. We'd have a much different circle, though. Less forgiving, much further over towards that eastern side. Mad Bulls might be able to get a good one off of the back of this, considering they'll be dropping pod to Paraiso, but it's a hot drop between Falcons and Tiamba.
All right, here we go. Strap in then, as already the action is kicking off. The handguns pulled out to deal some damage as Tiamba. They've been thrust into fights quite a few times today. It's been a bit hit and miss. Last game, they went down with 4 elim points off the back of being crashed on by 2 squads. Into this one, they have 1 man knocked immediately as Falcons look to see how much insult they can add.
I mean, with the revolve, this just starts to devolve right now for Tiamba. Losing a player right off the bat like that is just not enjoyable. And again, Tiamba had built themselves up a massive score bank as well already, so going out, not ideal, but I think that they've already done enough, I would say, in today to make it through to the main tournament, ending this with a 2nd place. But you want to be first, man, don't you, really?
Oh, yeah. You always want to be first. Second feels like, you know, first to come second, blank.
Exactly. The worst. You don't want it.
No.
First to come second, maybe even third if things continue for a team like For Miracle Vibes or DX Xavier. Falcons, though, in 16th place. This fight, winning this one, be able to have a good game off the back of it would be very, very nice for this team, because right now their point scoring potential on the day hasn't been amazing. Hasn't been great here, Jackie. Tiamba on the balcony, looking out for some shots here. I'm sure they'd love to take out Alliance in that 1st place spot. And remember, Alliance will be stopping playing today alongside of Tiamba, so that would be locked in if that's the case.
That's what they're gunning for and hoping to take. For Falcons as well, as much as you get that opening establisher, you take the 1st elim, it's the knock-on effect that could come from this one. You have to clean up this fight without any real issues. You don't want to give away picks. You don't want to lose any players on this, as you're leaving yourself in a detriment of a position throughout the rest of this fight. You've got 1 man that's been lurking upstairs in the compound for some time, Uzi in his hands. If they come running around the corner, playing the little off angle on the stairs, it could be kind of cheeky, Blank. You got that headshot hitbox, he's ready.
I love the fact that he's got the double Uzi. He's got an Uzi in the back pocket as well as a secondary. Stun grenade round the corner, binds him. Quick Molotov, I like that Molotov actually, that's really good. Heads towards the side room actually as well, so this might actually catch him off guard. He is a solo, all on his lonesome. Tiamba brought down to 3 players pretty early.
Here's the engagement.
Nice.
Bond knows that this is going on, and Bond does respond on the East. He was playing that off angle on the balcony for so long, saw the opportunity to get stuck in. Now, this is what we were talking about. If things really start to unravel here for Falcons, you're going from feeling like, yeah, that was a pretty nice drop, to, oh, what have we done?
Yeah, exactly. It's all gone wrong. I mean, to be honest with you, Tiamba's sort of a weird team to be hot dropping, though I do think this is more of a case of the situation rather than the plan. With the plane being so far over towards that western side, sometimes you have to go for something like this. But Tiamba have sort of brought it back here just a little bit. Average eliminations here on Miramar 1. Goodness me, Falcons. It's gone bad to worse. This being pipped to the post in PMGC, it's just felt bad for this team.
That's one statistic you do want to improve on. Meanwhile, for Tiamba, things looking a little bit better on the numbers game. And XC up close. Oh, he's coming around the corner swinging. He's throwing out the left hooks, the right hooks. He's even got uppercuts to give out the Falcons. And he makes it uncomfortable. They have the numbers to work with. You've still got a bit of a backline. They do find the peak towards the top floor. Bond, lucky to make his move. Can at least go for the medic mission.
I mean, the best part about this is that they've just identified where the last player is. Nowhere in the building. They get a full reset on this. Action has to dip out. Knows he just has to wrap this game out now. Needs to snake it through towards the end to just get some points. 29 points. Total of 30 with the elimination able to pick up early there in that fight. It's not great for them. Similarly, for VPE, Mad Bulls, Bro Harami, not had a great day today. Quick replay on the revolver at the start here. Felt like they were trying to regroup on the building. Unlucky start, but NXC, man, with the DBS.
It's rough, but they really thought they had that one. And honestly, from the start they had, you're probably thinking, all right, yeah, we can really clean up on this, but not going to go that way. That was the knockback that resulted in just a reset, so it doesn't matter too much.
Pretty smart play from NXC as well, because all he shows from that top floor is the micro Uzi.
Yeah.
Doesn't let him know he's got the DBS until it's too late when they try to push him. So very, very smart play. Obviously, he could have gone topsy-turvy if Falcons had a DBS to themselves, but surely they would have pushed up the stairs and gone for the refrag on that if they had it. So for NXC, he knew he was in a good spot. He knew he was in probably one of the best spots in that situation. So I think for NXC, plays that really smartly, and that's why Tiamba's currently on top. 103 eliminations now, 1 point ahead of UDO Alliance. You know, but sometimes that's all you need. If UDO Alliance go down, 4 players out, the next few minutes, they've already won. They've taken first place.
I'll be happy with that. Like you said earlier, man, put a ribbon on it, ship it off, and just be content with the day as a whole. UDO Alliance, though, as much as it felt like a bit of a blip with the uncomfortable fights they were thrown into last time around, I don't hope that that'd be the same situation here. I think from what we've seen, they've looked good individually, but it's been the team play as well.
Yeah, I think for UDO Alliance as well, that last game, like you said, felt unlucky, right? They took a really good fight versus Tongjiabao and then just had the unfortunate nature of coming against Bro Harami pretty much instantly afterwards. So I think for Alliance, unfortunate situation, not much you can do about it. Everyone was so close together at the beginning of the game there that Tongjiabao really shouldn't have taken that fight in the first place. But yeah, once they were locked in, they were locked in. There was no escape from it. The key was thrown away. Look at the map, though. Tongjiabao currently with a nice central position. Mad Bulls moved out early, headed up towards Impala. They're on their outer edges right now, and DXavier moving in from the north. So those are sort of the big teams I'm looking at. But Reject do have a central spot. Again, Reject wanting to put up more games, more points on this game. They need it. 6th place right now. It looks good, but it could get bad tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could slip down quite quickly when they rotate them out and switch up the group. So you'd hope if they have any fight left in them, this is when we'd start to see it displayed, especially here in the last matchup of the night, Game 6. You want them to give us something to root for.
Next circle popping soon. See where this one heads off to. Again, a lot of interesting ground around here. I think a lot of times the most uncomfortable finishes would be a hard eastern shift over towards Impala, where you got a lot of that rocky high ground, but instead we're heading down towards the south, towards Los Leones. A bit more of a urban finish that we could end here. It does encompass the entirety of Los Leones as well, which actually cuts out a lot of space, Jackie.
Yeah, restricting that map, making it a bit more awkward for them. Everyone now on their mass migrations as they usher themselves into the new zone and look to try and get ahead of the curve, find themselves any kind of map control to work with. As you can see, everyone moving in. UDO Alliance up on the hill. Other squads down below. Mad Bulls further ahead. Chulika had a banging game, but then they went really south in the follow-up. You'd hope here that man and the rest of the squad can deliver, and there might be an opportunity for it. You're going to take shots in the side, at least on the rotate. Luckily, the geometry there giving him a little bit of a shroud on the road. That's
a killer rotate from the Mad Bulls, actually. The fact they've been able to make it through as well, that's just an instantaneous rotation. They were stuck out on the eastern side. Impala, DXavier took their position before, but wow, the fact they've been able to get in here on the outer skirts of Los Leones, incredible rotate. Not entirely sure how no one was able to pick off a single member from this team, but they took the right plays, isolated a lot of the line of sights as well as they headed through. This was overall a really good rotation from the Mad Bulls and could set themselves up for some success, where success looked limited just moments before.
Look at this, man. This happened so long ago. Tiamba losing the first player, Falcons then just getting ripped to pieces, and they're still trapped amongst each other. You've got the nice establishers here of where our squads are setting themselves up after moving in. That's the only two that's miles away from the rest of the pack that are now all inside of the zone.
Team Liquid trying to get some scouting done here. Cardozo, Federalis spots him, he crashes out. Will need to try and live this one, tries to get some cover. The reload goes through from Federalis and he's behind the rock, but in comes DXavier. Chua here as well. Easy nade for Federalis, only has one nose, has to make it count. First aid kit might go off in time, but no, it will deal the damage necessary to take Cardozo down. Now picking this player back up, dangerous task.
Yeah. Probably
Not one that you want to invest into with the rest of the team so far out in the distance on the northeast.
Exposing yourself so much if you run the risk of going for it, knowing the angles that are there, and especially the players that are unknown as well further back. Tiamba looking to sweep, looking to clear. Oh, they drag the crosshair off at least and isolate the fight. You can get the pick up back in, so they do recover that and finally close down Falcons.
Sort of a cruel game there from Tiamba as well. The fact that they stayed in San Martin just to confirm that last elimination, making sure there's no rat behind them. I mean, you love to see it. You love to see it. And Tiamba will find themselves that final elim, taking them up to 4, but they are very low right now. And we're heading into Zone 3 very shortly. This game has just been blazing by, even in terms of just the rotates alone and the speed of the gameplay that we've seen. Brute force up towards La Bandita, trying to play around some of that geometry in that location, but centers up again. A little bit of Lost Leonis in, a lot of this high ground towards that eastern side. Uncomfortable circle here.
Nothing cozy about this one. The only thing that really is the close grouping. Bit of warmth from all these squads, Blank, because they're going to be on top of one another, trying to fight for survival throughout the duration of this matchup. For Miracle vibes as well, dude. It feels like they really are just having these games, so they get thrown into the deep end. Brute Force as well. It feels like there have been opportunities to deliver, but they've been uncomfortable in a lot of the situations through other squads being able to control them, pen them in, leave them having to fight and play defense.
Crate drops here. You can see we got some graphics.
Yeah, we got some AR.
We got some cool stuff going on.
You like that?
I like that.
Good.
Trophy came up behind it. It's a gorgeous trophy.
It is very pretty, actually.
Yeah, I am liking it. I'm liking it a lot. See how we get to lift that one at the end of the day. Rejects onto IHC. Good start for them. We'll confirm the flush onto demo. So their front man down. Ziol in the back lines.
Ooh. So nice tag back at least. He saw the opportunity to get the damage on. Takes the shot, connects it. Means that he can't overcommit. And Divine does look to dip out, get himself into a better angle to tank himself back up. He's still got his squad around him as well, and they've got split ground to work with, so good height.
Yeah, for Reject, the big difficulty comes in the fact that they're far on this western side right now. They have a lot of ground to cover. Luckily, there is a ton of cover to work with as you pass through Lost Leonis. You can see here, nice little shot of our map screen here as well. Mad Bulls 4 and V, as well as IHC all penning the guys from Reject in. They could go for a southern rotate, but where do you go after that, Jackie? That's the difficulty. D plus Key have already maintained a lot of that zone for themselves on that south side. It's just a tough circle overall, and will take a lot of cerebral action towards the end of the day, which is typically when you don't want to bring that out, right? You want a more of a chill match after your 6 games, but no, we want you to play your hearts out all the way to the end.
Yeah, no flow state gameplay here. It's got to be switched on, smart decision making time and time again. For Tiamba, they've been making their slow rotation round the back, and there is some squads ahead of them as well. Timeline where they could run into a few. You got the spread out as well from Brute Force that have moved up. That's Liquid that are in their eye line that, of course, lost one man earlier on.
Yeah, Cardozo going down is not a good thing for the team. I think he's a really good player on the squad. I think Ayala and Chief, though, definitely some of the big names on that team, including Mythic, and this is why I picked them as one of my big predictions, just because it is a team filled with powerhouses, but they have just not found that flow that they were looking for in these games, and that's a big issue, especially early on in the tournament. There's still time to bring it back, but you don't want to be bringing it back in the survival stage. Luckily, a lot of those top squads will be going out tomorrow, and maybe Team Liquid will be able to take some of these other teams to task. In the more easy setting, Tongjiabao, though, coming through, and Tiamba getting cut out. I mean, they had a long rotation. They put so much investment into action from Falcons.
got that first strike off onto TJB in the back line, but it's not really going to amount to too much. You do get the one full confirmation off the back of it, but the remaining trio has gone down to just a solo. All on one man, barely fighting to keep himself alive in terms of the timing, with the blue biting at him. DX do take a strike onto Brute Force as well from the sidelines.
Reject's not done too badly here, actually. I mean, with the circle just crushing in slightly, being more central, it's been given an opportunity to get rid of IHC, which means that backstop, that backline that might have caused some big problems in the future has been removed. Because the potential for them to come through. Massive split here from Alliance. It's something they do so frequently as well. On that north side, controlling so much space as they look over towards teams that are maybe trying to get through. Dick Xavier, spot a play here from Brute Force. Should be able to take him down pretty easy with an nade. Doesn't want to expose himself either. Just clean this one up.
You see for the rest of the squad how they did opt out to just back off after they lost the first. They didn't like the fight they had to go up against with DX Xavier, so they left Freezer for dead and rotated out with that. So another elim going their way as they pick that one up. Bit of a move now, a reshuffle from the Reject squad. For Miracle Vibes do have the height though, up top. Hello.
Yeah, nice position. A lot of times you kind of want to come off this one at this stage of the game as the circle comes through, because you know you're probably going to be needing to move at some point. Get your parachute back out again. For Reject, they lost Zara on that rotate. Could have been a perfect rotate for them as well. All four players making it through. Still has a chance to try and crawl in, but you don't want to invest too many smokes when you know you desperately need those smokes in the future to get through Los Leones. The 4MV's definitely not making it easy. Here's Team Liquid. Cars on fire, but central position.
At least they're still alive at this point. It's looking a bit iffy for them with some of the engagements they were thrown into, had to split up and cut their losses. You probably will have to make some concessions if you want to survive this one. Vampire looking for the backstab as well as they fire out shots, getting the tracing off. There is some damage done, but that's from the camp of You Do again as Alliance find that opportunity.
Tongji about. The flower coming through, but instantly dispatched here by Besiktas. On that northern side, they spent quite a bit of time trying to deal with QZ, but he's making his way in too at this point. Vampire, quite a lot of teams on this northern edge actually trying to play around these ridges on the valley with Alliance, making that split a little bit smaller right now, constricting, controlling a bit more space, a bit more firmly, as opposed to having that split. But a lot of times this is what Alliance does well, it's just accruing a lot of that information early on in the game, so they know what they need to do later. It's what DX Xavier did last game to get themselves a nice chicken dinner off the back of it. This is such a difficult circle, Jackie. You can see where the crossroads all meet, the high ground that sits all around it. It really is a case where there's at least 4 winning positions here in this game on the high grounds. Team Liquid is desperate for a southeast shift. QZ's not long for this world, that's for sure. I mean, it was pretty brazen of him. I'm pretty lucky that he's even survived this long.
Tried as best he could. Was looking for any opportunities, but they were few and far between. So it makes sense in the end. He is going to be shut down and taken out of the equation. From the high ground you once had, he starts to make his move as well. For Miracle Vibes, looking to potentially group back up a little bit here as Reject have given space between them to be aware of this. So they know they've got that timeline. OCO still looking up towards the high ground, believing him to be there. So seeds of doubt in the mind.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty, just wondering about where these players are a lot of times for Reject as they pass through perilous ground, let's be honest. Luckily able to get through, but this is the cover I was talking about. It gives you ample chance to get in. They still are on the outskirts of the city and the outskirts of the circle too, but I think that they've circumvented enough of 4MV that this should be a possibility to get in. But with 13 teams still alive, there's been a lot of survivors in this game.
Barely holding on by a thread for some of them. But for a good chunk of the squads, everyone's sitting pretty, looking pretty comfortable with how they've been able to establish themselves in the game. And the confidence to stay spread as well for UDO Alliance. That's been a big boon for them in the fights they've been taking. These individuals have been really powerful in the 1v1s, in the third parties when they take these backstabs, these little shots to put pressure on, like again here, the long-range fight coming in, that is rough.
It's a nice shot as well because that's their initial scout as well. So it's not likely the rest of the team's going to get in. And there's just some great overlooks that Alliance has been controlling. It seems to be the plan from the very beginning of the game. I like this from this team, just cutting out a lot of these rotations on the northern side and just carving themselves out a lot of space to work with going into the end game. Because like I said, 13 teams is a lot, but it's mainly favored that highly just because of a lot of the urban area around here, a lot of the ditches, a lot of the ridge sides where you can sit teams and keep them hidden. Another push out and Toshpik straight into the rock. There's potential here for some more shots and he has to go back.
Sent packing immediately as he was looking for the getaway, has to turn the vehicle around.
How has he hit that?
Mate. All right, engine block's gonna blow. He'll get shut down by the shrapnel on that one, so the getaway mission not gonna be completed there.
Just directly into that rock, just ruins the rotate. Tony K is here to play, and he will hit some decent shots over towards Besiktas. Again, these lads have been sat over towards the eastern side for quite some time, and Vampire have not really had too much of an impressive day today, considering these guys were the back-to-back winners of mid-season the last couple of years.
You're going to need something huge, though. Spread those wings, see if they can soar into action going into this last matchup, especially. We're still having 3 players alive at this point. They can build back into it. Try and turn our noses up, prove us wrong in some of these fights. Long distance again. Still opportunities for Alliance to put bullets downrange onto Poser. And Leon's is pushing up. That's a mean nade.
Nasty little nade there coming through. The Molotov just cleans him out. And they've been pressuring them for so long. Leon's jumps into the shack, I imagine, to try and resupply on whatever supplies they have. I don't think that Besiktas was in too many fights, so they should have a lot on those death crates. But here comes Brute Force from behind. And Vampires are now stuck between 2 difficult positions, and Leon's is just pumping the bullets in.
Everyone looking for damage, and the shots are connecting. Alliance are getting a 3B firefight where everyone else is thrown into the commotion, the chaos that's keeping them guessing, and it's working. You hit onto Tony K, a man that we know can make big moves. With him isolated, you feel confident to push on down. Crystal clear vision, the elevated angle, easy for the hitbox, and they clean up.
Alliance, 9 eliminations so far in this game. At Tiamba, the little lead they've got, it's not enough to keep Alliance at bay. And they're looking to hit that 120, the 10-point average, which would have been a crazy way to finish out this tournament. For them, at least, in Group Red. I'll be glad to see it, and with the way they're playing so far, it doesn't seem that unlikely to me. Bro Harame in a real tough spot. Nades available for Alliance. Smoke's going down to provide a little bit of cover to peek off the back of.
All right, Alliance, there we go. He bides his time. Coil like the Viper and then pounce like an animal in beast mode again. Like you said, there's still nades in the backpack and he feels confident to dash them out now and rain down damage. Man, that's on point.
More damage is flowing through. It's just one guy as well dealing this amount of pain. The smokes go down. They're going to attempt to get some of these reses through. Flex comes out from the side. Worried about some of the high ground though, and I think that's reasonable. No one's really looking at this at the moment. Sort of an isolated fight for Alliance versus Bro Harame.
Talon up close, the claw's not sharp enough on that one. As D plus Kia are able to respond back, at least in the first engagement that's given to them. The nades are still being rained out as well from Flax, who does even more damage, but finally there is a bit of a response. Liquor spots the engagement.
Will flush out Cluck as well. So unable to keep going. Jimmy's up close and personal. Molotov goes in. They're all burning. Send out the side, and with the jump shot, will finish things off here in the air. Feels the breeze. His own molly will knock him. The only one that can take out Jimmy seems to be himself here. But he is on fire, literally.
Yeah, he's playing that way. An absolute infernus on the team, lighting everyone up and making it uncomfortable for them. Recovery mission is going to be a little bit of an X on his back, though. And the smooth moves, man. Jimmy, he's at good rotation, but good in the firefights as well, Blank. This is what we're talking about. That momentum they've got behind them right now. They're willing to go for confidence plays. This is what that engagement was supposed to be, with Talent looking to take the fight against DK+. It's really looking awkward. I mean, you've got the high ground. They're down towards the bottom of the ridge, priming an 8, hoping maybe that would be a nice tap across. Misery. He's wanted to get stuck into some of these fights. He's had some unlucky engagements over the course of the past few games. It feels like he gets isolated. He goes down easy. If he can step up here, it'd be a big boon for the team as they go for the push up the hill, closing the gap, trying to get those SMGs in close range. The shotgun's causing problems as the bullets rattles off, but it's barely any damage done onto Talon as they are taking shots and cleaning their way through them bit by bit.
A D plus key is down. Talon's able to take them out. They try to unlock the gates there with those smokes, which might have been able to get towards that top side, but they missed a crucial Molotov, which lines up towards that side. It's more missing on the timing, really, because they did stop them from pushing that ridge side for quite a while, but they sat around, redesignating the smokes, and I think the difference maker there would have been a speedier push. Team Liquid up against the Xaviers. They try and assault their position. Some decent nades coming through. Flax will take down Tudica on the rotate there in the vehicle. A lot's popping off here. Nice nade, though.
That's a big one.
Mythic.
C4 thrown on the door. Let's see if they can close the gap on it. They want to get up close, Blank. They're really taking the fight towards the Xavier here. There is shells being fired off all over the shop, inside of the smokes. Hard to contain the commotion that's going on, but the Xavier are on the wrong end of the sword. As they're slain, it continues to go on as well. Oh, mate, what's happening?
A nuts engagement there from Team Liquid, honestly. Mythic goes crazy in those endgame moments, almost wins the trade versus Talon on the high ground, and Reject's still in with their little cool rotates towards beginning the game, just micro stuttering their way into the circle. This is big, and this is Jimmy's instantaneous knocks over towards all these guys, walks back into his own Molotov. I think he was just riding the high at that point.
High ground is the fight that we're seeing before our very eyes here. Tulica again taking bullets from range as you've got Reject on that elevated angle. Meanwhile, down towards the bottom end of it, that's Alliance that have been forced to fight this continuously. Mad Bulls, they got some of the business here. They're looking to see if they can keep themselves alive. Small shroud of the smoke, that's going to dissipate. Bullet will connect off the clean angle as Reject gets stuck into that one.
This high ground is just disgusting to play against. These nades coming through, massive one onto Misery. That might just open things up a little bit here for Reject. They get this high ground, they have a real winning chance in this game. Another nade over the top, a good amount of chip damage, but it's Axel who has to be the linchpin here. That one looks close, goes a bit too far. The airburst is not there, and the two players in the back now trying to attempt to keep Axel at bay. But this gives time for Alliance to regroup, reconsider their options. 13 eliminations once again. This has been one of the most elimination-heavy teams in the game so far.
And Reject, it looks so strong with how they were playing it up on top. But Axel's backline with the response back from Misery as well. They put the pressure back and flipped the script, making it uncomfortable for them to hold. And you're split. Your attention's now between two different pathways when they want to converge onto you. And this gives time for the other squads. Like you said, you can reset, start to move up, get yourselves into a better position. And whilst they're infighting, you can scale up.
Apex, real close here. The nade goes along from Reject. Not able to take him down. Baron playing a perfect backstop mentality for the team, allowing Apex to get nice and close. Does drop off the angle for a second here.
For Miracle vibes. Back towards the compound side. Alliance slowing it down. The two duos versus the two trios that are still alive and kicking. High ground could be so prevalent. It could be so beneficial. Misery scouting down below, clearing all these angles, wants to have a good assess of the lay of the land and know exactly where Alliance could be. Doesn't over-egg the pudding though, Blank. He pulls back, plays with the rest of the squad. They're looking to play this smart.
Yeah, for Talon, this should be in the back pocket, right? They just have to play intelligently, not push too far out, and not shake the boat on the top of this mountain. Because the opportunity is here for them to get a ton of points off the back of this one. But again, this is a team that has been struggling in the group stage. Alliance underneath, biding their time. You wouldn't believe it, but we're in the final circle here. This is going to crunch everyone in, and it's very dangerous for Talon because they've not been able to get enough done at this point in time that the circle's going to push them off that high ground into the jaws of Alliance and 4MV.
Misery. His scouting mission worked to at least get the info. But now it's not his nades that are being thrown in. They're taking the splash damage that's thrown across from Reject, trying to keep them penned in. You can see it with the split here from the top-down view. The way both sides of the coin are looking very similar. But Talon look to take the initiative, and with the use of the utility and their gun skill, they shut down Reject, reject the chance of them finding supremacy on this one, claim control of the hill, and make their lives slightly easier. For Miracle Vibes still have utility to play with, and they really are. Throwing out the dynamite. Say goodbye to the first man. Talon forced to recoil and reset.
Crunch of a grenade there onto another one over the top from Baron. The Barony is in session, and Refus in the meantime taking down Alliance. This could be a full sweep onto Talon here, and they will do it. Apex Predator inside the lobby. Now looks towards Alliance here to break them up. Their last game of the day. Refus drops down from up on high.
Oh, he goes for it. The drop down into the engagement, now panicking. The snap second decision making of how to recover this one. You know you're down effectively in a 1v2 isolated fight. You got nades raining down on top of your head. Like you said, the Apex Predator, the man that's been making difference here for Miracle Vibes, so close to upsetting the potential of another pickup, another chicken dinner for Alliance. If he can just find control of the game from this point. Doesn't want to waste his time going for the res, instead switches out to the nades. You got the push up from Flax. He's looking to make his move in. Heavy chip damage done that's going to keep him pent. He's struggling as the drop comes through, denies Alliance, and they grab that one.
4MV, what a finishing game there. Was tough, great angles held, and Talon just could not face up against them. Reject crumbled under the force of the Talon's weight, but it's 4MV to lift them high and toss them down. What a game from them. Not easy whatsoever, taking two fights at the same time to enable themselves to take that game, and in the final moments, a 1v1. Not an easy decision to make that jump off the top side and hit the air shot as well. Really, really well played for 4MV, and I think this is the 4MV a lot of people were expecting to